Well, if you're just joining us, a few minutes ago, we chatted with a teenager from Rosemount who has something called misophonia. It is a condition where certain sounds like chewing, clanking of dishes, glasses, I mean, anything. It triggers a fight or flight response.
1 in every 5 people suffer from this, which I had no idea. Dr. Karen Ryan is a psychologist with Nystrom & Associates, and she joins us now to expand this conversation. 1 in 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
A lot, and a lot of people don't know very much about it. So I'm so glad that we're talking about it and that they were brave and they shared their story.
They did
it's
a
so
great
helpful.
job. Yeah.
They did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about exactly what it is.
Yeah, so as you highlighted, it is a severe sensitivity to certain sounds, and there tend to be like common sounds that we hear, and that's why it can be so difficult to navigate. So like you highlighted, it's chewing, swallowing, oftentimes breathing. Sounds are like mouth noises, clearing of the throat, tapping, water dripping, so kind of those consistent sounds that you hear. And what happens is that fight or flight kicks in. And so Julie did such a great job, like how she described it in her body, where it is a oftentimes like fast and strong reaction, that fight or flight that goes into like self-protection mode. And so it can be, come up on a regular basis for people.
To me, is almost anger-inducing.
Yes.
And unfortunately, sometimes it's the closest people to you who are making these noises. And
Right.
well, first of all, I think they thought I was making this up all these years, and I think my daughter has the same thing.
Yeah.
But their feelings get hurt because it's like, well, it's not that I don't like to hear you, I love you and you can chew and eat by all means, but I don't think they quite understand.
Yeah, and I think that's a really helpful piece to understand, that there's levels of severity, and so when it's that higher or more severe response, it's really important to have compassion, understanding. What can be helpful to know for loved ones and even explaining is that research is showing that individuals who have misophonia, they have parts of their brains that are highly activated. You can see the activation in their brains in MRI scans when they hear the trigger sounds. And they're also seeing that there's increased neurons in those areas. So we're learning more about this all the time. It's a newer condition that we're understanding. But I think understanding that and then not taking it personally. This is not about how much this person loves me. They're not disgusted or angry with me. This is a sound that just triggers that. And you highlighted those emotions that are there. It's fear, it's anger, it's disgust, it's like irritation, it's like repulsion, it can be all of those, but it is not towards that person.
Yeah.
It's a trigger that happens in the brain.
What's interesting for me when I think about this, my husband does drive me insane with his chewing.
Yeah.
And sometimes his breathing. And I feel like a lot of people, sorry, honey, I love you. See, we're talking
Kelly
about
and I
this.
have both been married for a long time.
Not to each other,
No.
to other people.
Thanks for
But
clarifying.
yeah, you're welcome. But I feel like, do I have misophonia? Is it something that we all kind of sort of have, but there are different degrees of misophonia?
Yes, and I think you're highlighting that you did a good job earlier too of explaining we all have sounds that we don't really like. But this is one where what you feel, there's like key things. So it's noticing that strong physical reaction that can happen in your body. So you'll notice tightness in your chest, maybe sweating, maybe shaking. I think you'll feel like tension in your hands.
Yeah,
or
Julia
your
was
feet,
even
like you just
saying
want to
that
run around.
that she will
Yeah,
bounce
like
or
you
move
want to
or-
you just feel like punching or slamming the table and just like want to scream, stop. And so there's that strong reaction. So it's a really strong physiological reaction that you have. And so it's recognizing, kind of like normalizing when you have that, like validating, this makes sense, it's happening. How do I explain this to my loved ones and articulate and advocate for myself, which she did a beautiful job talking with her family and explaining that her family understanding and supporting.
How do we cope with this? If
Yeah.
this is something that we feel like we have, number one, is there a diagnosis? Do you see a doctor about it? And then what can you do to help yourself?
Yeah, it's not in the DSM, which is like our formal diagnosis yet, but a lot of doctors, providers are understanding this, and I predict it will be in our next version of that. So if you go to a therapist or you go to a doctor, most of them will understand it and recognize that. So what can we do about it, right? So some of the things is how do you kind of decrease that stimulation, decrease the trigger sound? So you can have headphones, you can have music on, you can use earbuds or earplugs, things that'll decrease it. It's being thoughtful about what sort of situations are going to be highly triggering. And so maybe you avoid some of those times where you know it's not going to serve you well. But then if you're finding I don't want this to reduce or restrict my activities so much, that's when it's really helpful to implement some coping skills. So coping skills muscles are, again, using those sort of things to decrease the amount of stimulation that happens or the amount you hear it. Can also be using other tactile experiences to help ground and distract your brain. As we said, that brain part is activated, so if we can force our brain lovingly to go on other tracks. So it can be if you have a fidget, or if you can pet something that's soft, or you can rub your hands together, or you can have something else to distract you. The other key piece then is because that fight or flight kicks in, right? That's that activation. Can we help ground ourselves and slow down? So that's that deep breathing. It's trying to relax your muscles. It's trying to relax your face. If you're feeling it in your hands, can you kind of shake it out? Giving yourself permission to take a break, to leave, and then come back. So that's when you can be skillful and tell your loved ones, hey, if I leave quickly, I'm just gonna go like kind of decrease that, and then I'll come back when I'm able. And so you can see there's social skills involved in communicating about it, but really that piece of if you can help your body like normalize, oh, I know why I'm having this reaction. I also can help myself know I'm safe, remind myself that I can ground, breathe, and kind of reduce some of this.
One of the suggestions that you're saying is to just validate it, and which I think is such a huge thing, because then you don't think like, am I losing my mind here, or like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
If you could sort of
for no
just,
reason.
if you could sort of just find that switch to flip and be at peace with it and acknowledge that it is a thing for you, I would think that would help
I really
too.
appreciate that, Chris. You're right on, because oftentimes I think the thought of like, what I imagine people think is like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with you, and you can't just, right? We are seeing that this is something that you don't have control over, and you didn't ask for, and so how do we just help people like validate, that this is really hard and I'm doing the best I can.
What's interesting is there's a lot of talk about misophonia, ASMR, which is something different too, on social media, that people are being more open with how sounds affect them. Some people really love sounds. And that tickles their brain. And then we have misophonia, which does something else to our bodies. So are you seeing that maybe you're hearing more from people like, I think I have this, because they're learning more about it from something like social media?
When I think what like Julia highlighted, she was Googling and searching, and when she found it and saw the description, how validating that is. Oh, that's me. This makes sense. I have context. I have understanding. And that's so empowering. And so I think the more people learn about it, the more people talk about it, the more we can like support, have understanding, and make those like loving accommodations and understand the neurodiversity of our brains.
And that's what you kind of encourage people who might be living with someone is to just sort of try to be understanding. Is there anything else they can do?
Yeah, like we highlighted those accommodations, so being thoughtful, like if you know music, if you know chewing and swallowing is a hard thing, do you have music kind of playing as a distraction?
Turn the TV
right?
radio.
Do you do your best to try and adjust that, right? Or if you've got a loved one who snores and the partner's like, I love you so much, I want to sleep, but I need to be in the other room. Having that understanding, then those other times connecting and knowing that's not going to hinder the relationship. These two were a perfect example of that, right? That at times they eat separately or they have to do those separate things, but then they come together, and that strength of the relationship. So recognizing this doesn't have to hinder our connection. It's okay if we have to do these things and then intentionally come back later.
How do you get your teens to get along like that? Is my it's what I want to know.
They're all doing something right.
I don't
which
know.
is great.
That's amazing.
That's some good parenting right there.
I
Or
agree.
just
I agree.
good luck. But anyway.
Thank you,
My
Doctor.
pleasure.
Good to see you, Dr.
Such
Ryan.
an interesting conversation.
It is. Nystrom and Associates provides care in the fields of psychiatry, psychology, family therapy, and more. If you're struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, or addiction, you should reach out to them.